Oh my god, it's a miracle. The baby just fell out of the sky.
É, eu sei. É canal de cara muito esquisito.
Do you think we should keep him?
Eu não sei. Eu não sei nem o que eu tô fazendo aqui.
Tonight, I poop on both your pillows.
Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to our review of Brightburn, a horror superhero film directed by David Yarovesky and produced by James Gunn, which is the reason why I'm so excited right now, because if you've been following my channel, you know I am a really big fan of James Gunn. I have seen everything he's ever been involved in, from producing, writing, directing. I've read the book he's written. I'm all about the gun. So this film is essentially about a baby who crash lands to Earth from somewhere in outer space, and a young couple in a farm in the middle of rural America find him and adopt him, and he has superpowers. And if that sounds familiar to you, it probably is, except this one has a twist.
It does. He is a psychopathic killer.
So yeah, essentially this movie is basically what would happen if Superman came to Earth but was not a good guy at all. And
it's even set in Kansas as well.
Exactly. So it's set in Kansas.
There's no secret that it is drawn from the Superman.
Exactly. So look, when I went into this movie, I had really big expectations. Like I said, I'm a big fan of James Gunn, but even though he only produced this film, it was written by his cousin and brother, but anytime he produces something, he really has his signature all over it. It's almost like he made the film, but just with a stand-in director in a way. So I did go in with big expectations, but look, I was really, really happy with this film.
He was.
It gave me everything I possibly wanted from it, realistically.
Look, what I like about it, even before even seeing it, and even now after the fact, is that this is ushering in a fresh take on a whole new genre. We've had, I mean, everything's mixed these days, even from music and everything, but like now we have like superhero horror from the villain's point of view. And even on Netflix and things right now, we've got Ted Bundy and everything, you know, it's all back in fashion, and here we are with the superhero take on it. And yeah, it puts a whole nother spin on everything.
Exactly, and that's one thing I think, like, there have been some mixed and to negative reviews on this, and maybe people aren't looking at this the right way. Like, it is a fresh story. It is something original and unique, and let's face it, there's not a lot of that out there in Hollywood these days. I mean,
hard to do.
Especially when we're saturated with superhero stories, but along comes a movie like this, which does something completely different. So look, things I loved about the movie, it is a horror movie, essentially, you know, with using a superhero character. I thought the horror was done extremely well. There were some scenes in this film my head was literally pounding with tension, and that's the good kind of horror to me, not just like constant jump scares, you know, when it builds up the tension, and this movie did it so effectively.
Yeah, look, there is tension, there is jump scares, and there's the perfect amount of gore. And you could even say without spoiling anything, that there's some jaw-dropping moments in this film. Now, you will get that once you've seen it. Watch this again and come back afterwards.
Good point. Yeah, look, I'm a gore hound. Horror is my favorite genre of film, and I love gore when it's done right. This movie knocked it out of the park. There was some moments in this film that had me squirming in my seat. There was one scene in particular involving an eye, which I couldn't even watch. Like, seriously.
So after the movie, we've both said that we're bad with eye stuff. I'm shocking, and yeah, both of us just...
Yeah, it's bad.
But in a good way.
Exactly. So other things I liked, most of the performances were fine. Elizabeth Banks plays the mum in the film, and David Denman is the dad. I thought they were good for, you know, I mean, their part was quite important in this story, because the story doesn't really have like a central protagonist. It's kind of all these people that are fodder for this kid that you got to feel sympathy for, and they did a credible job of that. But Jackson A. Dunn as the kid in this film, my God, he was great. He had such a great range, I thought, from, you know, being kind of charming or naive to yeah, psychotic as fuck.
I disagree slightly. I think what you're saying is right, but I think that's more of a directorial using him as a tool for those things. But either way, the kid's great.
Yeah.
So that's really what the point is at the end of the day. He's awesome to watch.
Absolutely. But yeah, for me, the main things that stuck out in this film was the fact that it was a fresh, unique story, and the horror was done really well. There were some scenes in this film that were absolutely heart-wrenching to watch. Like, you really get invested in the characters. You know, I really felt for them. I was glued to the story the whole way through. I didn't think there was a single dull moment in the whole runtime, which is only 90 minutes as well, which we'll actually get to in the negative soon. But yeah, it's not a long film. You know, it's quick, easy entertainment, and yeah, as a horror film, I thought it did really well.
Yeah, the gore, the style. The acting, sort of more once the movie gets going, is really good. I thought a couple of the actors were a little bit bland at the start, sort of setting up the story. Maybe that's why. But when tensions start rising, they all perform. So.
Totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, as much as we walked out of this film going, holy crap, that was amazing. Yeah, there were some things that we weren't real happy about. Mainly, it did suffer from some pacing issues in that it went too fast, especially the first half of the film.
Yeah.
It just sort of rushed by, and it did an okay job of building up, you know, the developing the characters enough that you could feel sympathy for them. So it didn't do too bad a job there. But for me personally, I would have happily had another half hour added to this film to build some more up. Like, it could have easily got away with being a 2-hour film.
Easily. So I'm big about pacing in movies. It's one of the things I pay attention to naturally. And yeah, this movie is over in a flash. I knew sort of just from knowing the runtime that it would feel very quick, but man, it was quick. And some of my gripes with the pacing, just the opening scene. I mean, it does draw from a story that we sort of know, but it still needs to, in that moment when you're watching it, just build that, and it's just, and it's edited very quickly, which is a negative.
I mean, at the same time, it was kind of good because it does like just put you straight into the story. But yeah, overall, the first half of the film.
Well, the other thing with the pacing as well as I think, I mean, you know, quicker and sort of longer. So, you know, it was too quick in a lot of parts where it should have been drawn out. You know, the tension of horror, which if you do that masterfully, it really has a great effect. So it did go by quite fleetingly for me at some points.
Yeah.
And then just to build. You know, just to build some of why this character's doing the things he does. I think it skims over that a little bit too quickly as well, but in saying that, top movie still.
Yeah, I mean, it was explained, but yeah, you're right, it could have been elaborated on. And one other thing for me was there were some moments in the film that were just way too implausible. I mean, I know it's the kind of movie you got to suspend disbelief, but like there's a scene where a cop is interviewing the mum about the kid, and just the way that he kind of, you know, comes to figure out it's the kid doing these things, I thought was just way too hard to believe.
Yeah, look, I think there's a fair few moments in here. I know I sort of touched on it before. Things get explained, but very, very fleetingly. Like, again, how do I say this without spoiling it for you guys? But, you know, just the reasoning behind our main character being evil. So it's touched on, but it didn't explain it enough for me. And I think again that's either lazy writing or just pacing or editing. But it's still, as me as the viewer, it still felt too fleeting.
Well, I would say it was the writing because the other thing the only other gripe that I wanted to mention was that there's a lot of explanation or like exposition in the first half of the film, particularly, instead of, you know, like the fundamental rule of screenwriting is show don't tell. And, you know, like we open up on a shot of like a whole bunch of fertility books on the bookshelf and stuff, you know, which you sort of think, okay, that's good visual language. But then there are a lot of moments where the characters are explaining things to the audience, particularly one bit towards the end where the mum says something which, yeah, can't spoil it, but it was just like, why are you saying this? You could just show it. And it's like, it was a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, you know, despite the few flaws that this movie had, which, yeah, they were significant flaws, but there was so much to love about this film, and the things it did get right, it really got right in a big way. I mean, like I said, you know, as for a horror movie, the tension was there, an original story, great characters, and without spoiling anything, I got the ending that I wanted in this film, which I guess if you follow me on Twitter, actually, I've just spoiled the movie for you. I do apologize, but I've just got to say it. Yeah, the ending of this film, I absolutely loved. So, yeah, I'm definitely, it's the kind of movie I want to see it again. I'm going to buy it on day one when it comes out on Blu-ray, and I am going to give Brightburn an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, so just, I mean, without even seeing it, I probably would have rated this high anyway, just because of the fresh story type thing. And it draws from a lot of, you know, a lot of other, you know, areas of filmmaking and things like that to make it an original story, but it is still original at its foundation. I love that about that movie. But again, pacing was a huge thing for me. I would have liked it to be a little bit more tense and a little bit more explained, but man, it was a fun ride visually. The gore factor, I'm a huge horror fan as well. Just the acting, everything. I'm a huge Elizabeth Banks fan as well, so to see her in action in anything is great. So, in saying all of that, I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Alrighty, so thank you very much for stopping by and hanging out with us while we ramble about this movie. Yeah, look, if you guys have seen Brightburn, we would love to know your thoughts, because, yeah, I've seen some mixed reviews. Some people are saying that they thought the pacing was way off, that there were actually dull moments in the story, which I'm really trying to figure out.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't go that far.
No. So yeah, let us know what you thought of Brightburn. Once again, thank you very much to my friend Seanny Millar for dropping in and joining me on this review, which I got a feeling he's going to be sticking around for quite a few more reviews. So
I'll be back.
I kind of hope you actually like him sitting next to me, because he's...
Tell us about that too. If you hate me, let me know.
You don't want to invite
If you like
that.
me, let me know that too. Preferably that over the other one, but yeah.
So let us know what you thought of Brightburn, or indeed what you think of this guy. Drop us some comments either here, Facebook or Twitter. All the social media links are in the description below, because we like to talk about movies, and we would love to talk about movies with you. Catch you next time.
Next time you're cooking, I'm going to use my secret sauce. I'm going to take photos of your wife in the shower and sell them on the internet. Cheap. I'm going to strap you to your bed and burn your house down while you sleep. I'm going to poop on both your pillows tonight. And bang your wife. Hard. In the mouth. With my banana.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.